Welcome to Kyber, your new team assistant for Slack. Kyber allows you to create a list of action items for each one of your channels. So you can have channels per team, sales, marketing, HR, engineering, per project, maybe you're updating your website or you're creating an ad campaign, or per client or customers, like John, Smith, or whatever. Let's see what's happening on Team Sales and how you can organize your messages and track them. So here there is a discussion around a deal, and Katie is asking Mike to prepare a proposal. Now these are the messages which are easy to be missed, forgot, and lost, and things don't get done. So what you can do with Kyber is create a task out of regular messages sent on Slack. You can edit all the information already pre-filled in the task creation form. You can add a reminder or a deadline if you want. The assignee stays Mike, and you can select the project. In this case, we keep Team Sales. Once you click on Send, the task is sent to the channel and added to the list for the specific Team Sales channel that we have. To launch Kyber, simply type /Kyber, hit enter twice, and you will see the list of the task for this channel. As you can see, this is the task we just created, and it's assigned to Mike, which has one task. If you want to create new task, you can simply click plus and click on the new task button, or in the future you can just directly type /task to get the same form, which I'm going to show you. Here you can, for example, create another task where you want to ask again Mike to send proposal to client, and maybe you put a deadline. You put by tomorrow at 5 p.m. Once you write it the normal text, you can then select and confirm the date and time, tomorrow, October 3rd at 5 p.m. And if you want, you can also make it this recurring by just saying every month on the 3rd, or you can change and just put every day at a certain time, and so on and so forth. So let's pick tomorrow by 5 p.m. We want to assign now to Mike, and we want to save it for team channels. Also here, of course, the task is added to the list. Now Mike has two tasks. This is the deadline, and this is the other task we just created. One interesting thing is that if you click on this link, you are sent back to the original message that was used to create the first task. This is very useful because maybe Mike didn't participate into the conversation, a lot of messages came after, and he can simply click on this link to be sent back to the context of that conversation. Now, each task has also have a comment section, so you can attach maybe the proposal when it's ready, a screenshot if you're filing a bug, or a document, or whatever comment you might want to put regarding this task, and everything is going to be kept in the context of the task. You can also, of course, work on this task from here. You can complete it when it's done. You can edit, and again here you can put deadlines. You can change the task name, and you can also change the project. So maybe you want to move it to marketing or whatever once, just to show progress in a task. You can, of course, assign it to somebody else or add more people to the same task through this form, and you can delete it. Few other things you can do from the Kyber app is, in this case, to switch between dates, so you can see what's happening tomorrow or in the next few days. You can change by looking at some sort of calendar view. Here is by day. Here you have all the tasks for the next few days. You can see what are the tasks you have sent, so you can follow up on each one of them. You can, of course, see the completed list for this specific channel. Once you click on this menu, you can also switch between channels, so you don't have to type Kyber in each one of the channels just to see what's there. Here, for example, I move to the marketing team, and I can see that Michelle, which is my user, has two tasks. Katie has one task, and these three teammates have a task assigned to each one of them. You immediately see that 1 out of 3 completed the task, and you can see that Michelle yourself completed while Mike and Katie are still working on it. As you can see, this is a very easy way to immediately know the status of tasks, the progress, and what the team is working on. Another interesting list is your personal dashboard. So once you click on My To-Do List, you can see all your tasks across all the channels assigned to you. So for example, if you have a task in project website and twin team marketing, you don't have to switch between all these lists just to see what you have to work on, but you can just look again at My To-Do List. There is also space for your personal task, in this case, pickup kits. Another interesting set of lists that you can look at is the team list. So you can see what Mike is up to. So in this case, I'm going to see that Mike has 5 tasks, and I can compare, for example, with Katie. So now Katie has only 2 tasks, so I might want to go back to Mike and assign a task back to Katie so she can help him. So in this case, I just assign the task to Katie right here. This was assigned to Mike, and I've been asked if I want to add Katie to this task or reassign it. In this case, I want to reassign it. The task is removed from here, and of course is moved under Katie. So very easy way to check the workload of your team and reassign tasks as needed. These are buttons to refresh your view, and once you're done, you can hide the message. Now, of course, we saw a few other stuff available for Kyber. If you click on plus again, you can see that you have also the ability of creating polls. And in particular, the poll is very straightforward. You ask a question, and then you offer a few options, and then you can preview your poll and configure it. Now let's start using some of the micro apps. The micro apps are some sort of ideas for you to use the poll or simply edit this pre-made application. So for example, here you want to ask, you want to pick what is the best time to meet, and you can say, let's say, to discuss the roadmap, and you can start putting some time, maybe 10 a.m. tomorrow at 4 p.m. and so on. Once you click on preview, you can review the option you enter, you can make changes, you can decide to schedule it for some other time, or you see a typo here, you want to make the change, or you can configure it here by changing the duration. So instead of waiting a day for the poll to end, maybe you want a quicker results, and you get 1 hour. You can also schedule to be sent immediately right now, or for any other day or time, or even make it public, make it recurrent. Sorry. In terms of visibility, you can make public the poll public or anonymous. When it's public, you know who voted for what, which in this case is pretty useful because you want to know who voted for a certain option, so you can adjust. Once you click send now, the poll is sent to the channel, and it's added to the same list that we discussed before. So everybody can just vote on the poll, and you start getting intermediate result as you want. Also here, you can use the shortcut and type /poll. Something else you can do is to create a sync up. So sync up is basically a way to ask up to 4 questions. You can schedule the sync up for recurrence or one-time type of questionnaire. You can ask 4 questions, and also here you will be able to configure a duration for this sync up. After the duration is over, when people respond, a report will be generated with all the responses. And this is pretty useful, for example, if you want to create stand-up meetings. So this is a standard question that you want to create, sent every workday from Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. You can, of course, edit any of this question or immediately delete some. Also here, you can decide where to send it. It is the same channel where we're in. You can decide to configure it by changing the duration, changing the name, and making the respondent either anonymous or public. In this case, it's a stand-up meeting, you want to have it public, but if you're asking feedback from your team, you probably want to choose to make it private, anonymous, sorry. Let's hide this. Few other ideas here is to create weekly update meeting, similar question, just send at the end of the week. Team recognition, this is a very interesting one. You might want to foster recognition inside your team where you ask, for example, in the last period, which colleague did something particularly helpful for the team. What did they do? Why do you think it's important for the organization? And again, here you can change the question and the cadence. In this case, we said let's send it every other week on Friday at 10 a.m. And also here you can just change and pick some other option on, put whatever you prefer. There are some other ideas, and again, you can create your own that better fits your company needs. The last app that we have available is the one to schedule messages. So if you click on new message, or if you simply type on /message, you can write a message. This is important. And you can write a message, and then you can schedule it to be sent, for example, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Typically it's late at night and you don't have time to, you don't want to send it late at night, you want to send it in the morning, you can schedule it, you can say 9 a.m. or tomorrow at 7 a.m., whatever you want to do. Once you, let me show you when you send it right away. Once you preview it, you can see here how it's gonna, the text basically you can still edit before sending, but when you click, in this case it's not scheduled but send now, you will see that the message appear as sent from you, not as sent by Kyber, of course, and so it's gonna look like any normal message. Also here we have some micro apps. We can create a team announcement whereby you can add a title, which is going to be set in bold. You can add your message with bullet list or emoji or whatever. You can add a link to a video, a GIF, an image or document or whatever, and also here you can schedule it. So very useful for announcing, big wins in the sales team or HR announcement that you want to make sure people have seen. Similarly, we have recurring messages. So let's assume you want to ask people to do time tracking every day. You want to remind people to do 5 p.m. every workday to fill the timesheet. You don't want to make this as a task which is needs to be completed all the time, but basically a gentle reminder. And so you can also put the link to your timesheet so people can just click on it, put the time, and be done with it. So again, few ideas here on how to use the product. Again, you have the shortcuts here. Once you get more familiar with the product, you don't have to go to this Launchpad all the time. You can click on these links to check our guide with all the instruction, and again, all the stuff that you create are added to this list, which is shared with the entire team. So anyone in team sales, assuming it's a public channel, can access this. If it's private, of course, the privacy rules are maintained, and only the people in the private channels or in DMs can see the task inside there. We clearly maintain this information. Lastly, in the Kyber bot, you can start when you type /Kyber, your personal list, but you will get all the notification about tasks being completed, tasks being modified, the one you created, and so on and so forth. So anything related to your work will be sent here inside Kyber. So keep an eye on it, and we always recommend to start it so it gets displayed up here prominently.